For once, I was asked to do the intro before the lesson. It's such a privilege to be here. I understand they're coming back into the story that's called Journey Through the Bible, something that's very exciting. Today, we're going to visit the story in 2 Kings, learn about 3 kings, and a lot more. Stay tuned. It's a perfect day in Galilee. This is News Channel 7, the Galilean Gazette, the holiest news you'll find on your tablet. I am Kitty Kirk.
And I'm Timmy Allen.
So, kids, last week...
And I'm Bob.
Yes, and he's Bob. Last week, though, we were... Timmy.
Uh-huh.
What are you doing?
Well...
Why do you constantly interrupt the broadcast?
Well, I thought I would do an experiment since we've been talking about influence, and I did an experiment that talks about how it can have influence, something can have influence on others.
Ah.
Okay,
all right.
So is that why I haven't seen you in your office for the past week?
Oh yeah, it's taken me quite a while to get this done.
Why would that take you so long to get done? It's just eggs and some colored water.
Let me explain to you something. This is a really complicated process. I had to go to the store, I had to buy some eggs, boil the eggs, get 3 glasses and fill them with water, and put food coloring in it. It was quite a complicated process.
Really, Timmy? I kind of agree with Bob. It doesn't look too hard, but more importantly, I know you're doing the experiment because of influence, but how does this influence?
Well, to help with our story today, let me first explain this experiment. See, all 8 of these jars have eggs in them.
Wait. There's 5 jars.
Oh yeah, I had breakfast today. So we had 5. And these 5 eggs all have different, there's something in them that's a little different. What do you notice about these eggs?
Let me go first. The first thing I see is that they all have water, but each have a different color.
And obviously they all have eggs in them.
Yeah, and over time, the color of the eggs changed according to the dye it was in.
This is a pretty neat experiment, and I see that it goes along with our story today.
So it influences the color of the white egg. I get it. So the water changes the color of the eggs, and our attitude and our actions can change the people around us. It does make sense.
Yeah, the way we treat people and the way we behave around others has influence on them.
Yeah, and our influence can have a negative or a positive effect on people, or really no effect at all. And our story today is from the Old Testament book of 2 Kings.
As we continue with our greatest of all time stories, we're going to look at some kings in the Bible and learn how their actions as leaders had influence on the people around them.
Yeah, one of the kings that we will look at today was good.
And one of the kings we'll look at today was bad.
The other king we will look at today was just okay. There were so many kings throughout the 2nd book of Kings, and each had their effects on people, depending on their obedience to God and how much they trusted Him.
And in the book of Kings, we picked 3 kings to show how their leadership, power, and influence the people around them.
I tell you what, I think now's a really good time. We have a new correspondent here today. We're going to turn it over to Bunny Couric, and she's my cousin. Listen, I'm excited to hear her story today, and we will see how we follow God, how we leave a positive influence on the world around us. Bunny, please, what is going on?
Thanks, guys. It's true. I'm Bunny Couric, and I'm just hopping around today looking for some kings from the Old Testament. We are going to take a look at the life of one who was good, one who was not good, and one who was just okay. Now, at the time of the kings, there was one nation of Israelites, but they could not get along, and they argued over whose king was best, and they got into a fight, and it didn't go well. So the Israelites split into 2 kingdoms. One was called Israel, and the other was called Judah. Each nation had kings leading them for over 200 years. Some of the kings reigned for many years, and some were very short-lived. But no matter how long they lived, they left some type of legacy. The first king you will see is just the okay king, King Uzziah. He was only 16 years old when he became the king, and he ruled for 52 years. That's a long time to have influence on the people. He did right in the eyes of the Lord. This means he made good choices to follow God, but he did not tell the people to worship the one true God, the wonderful God that we love.
Go, son.
Yes. Whatever.
He let them have idols and to bow down to. This made it very hard for the people to obey and worship our God. So by Uzziah not removing the idols or the fake God, it made them easy to forget God. He had a lot of good qualities. He built a nice kingdom, and they all had a nice place to live, but by not removing the idols, it was not pleasing to God. And by not removing the idols, the people were not told the truth about our God. I cannot imagine living far from God's love and care. Well, the king ended up with a terrible, terrible skin disease, and he had to live far away from his kingdom that he had built, and he spent the rest of the days alone.
I don't feel so good.
He went down in history as just an okay king. How sad that he didn't tell his people about the one true love of God. He really missed out on an opportunity for his kingdom. Now, I'm going to turn it over to our good friend Barbara Wawa, and she is going to tell you about the other kings.
Thanks, Bunny. It's so nice to have a new reporter join our team. She did such a great job. So as we continue to look at a few kings, I'm going to tell you about the not so good king, King Ahaz. Yikes! That king is so rude. He became king when he was 20, and he reigned for 16 long years. He did so many terrible things. He forgot God, and he ruined God's temple. He even took silver and gold out of the Lord's temple. He did this to please himself. He did not even care about the people around him. And as a leader, he influenced his people in all the wrong ways. He taught his people that it was good to worship idols. He led his people far away from God.
Here you go, sir.
Our next king, Josiah, was only 8 years old when he became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem for 31 years. He did what was right in the eyes of the Lord and followed completely in the ways of God, not turning aside to the right or to the left. God's temple was in bad shape, and King Josiah had asked for the temple to be restored so that his people could hear from God. It's remarkable that he even got rid of all the fake gods.
Here you go.
While they were restoring the temple, the high priest said, "I have found a book of the law in the temple of the Lord." They took it to the king, and he was so happy, but he was sad at the same time. In his deep sadness, he tore his robes, and he said,
We did not do the right things that are written in the book of the law. We must all do them now. Gather the people and let's read the law together and follow it.
The Bible says there was no other king like Josiah who was able to turn to the Lord as he did, with all of his heart and with all of his soul and with all of his strength. He loved God, and he does people to love God. He influenced and led them closer to God. It was truly amazing to see. You know, we follow God, and we leave a positive influence on the world around us. What a wonderful story. Right now, I'm getting word that we're going to turn it over to Shelly Grace because she has minutes of wisdom to share with you.
Hi, kids. Welcome to A Moment of Wisdom with Shelly Grace. You know, kids, today we learned about 3 kings. One was just okay, one was bad, and one was really good. We may not be kings and queens in our world today, but we all have influence on the people around us. We can influence our friends, our family, and other people that we meet, like our neighbors, our classmates, or even the people we interact with at the grocery store. We know when we follow God and make the right decisions, our influence can be positive. See, as we follow God, we leave a positive influence on the world around us. Well, let's head on back to the studio with Kitty, Timmy, and Bob.
Welcome back to the studio. There were so many kings in the Old Testament that we picked out just 3, only a few of them to talk to you about this week. Again, what are you both doing? Bob, what are you doing, first of all? Timmy, what do you have? I don't even know who to start with.
This is for Goat Club this week, and we have some food here.
Okay, I see that. I definitely do, which is why I'm asking, but why do we have that?
Well, we're making a list to see who likes what food on this table, and we're ranking them in the order in which people like them.
Like, which one would you like to eat the most?
So, which food would you like to eat least, and which food is just okay?
Yeah, here we have some cauliflower, we have some ice cream, we have some puffies, animal crackers, Rice Krispie treats. We're just asking everyone in the studio, see what they like the most.
Okay, so can I go next?
Sure. You were the last person we needed to ask.
Yeah, that is why we brought the food with us, actually.
Well, I like pretty much everything here except the cauliflower.
What?
What?
You don't like cauliflower?
No, not really. I would much rather have a taco, which isn't even on this table.
That's crazy, because cauliflower is like the most popular food.
You see, kids, we all have some strong opinions on these foods.
Some you might want to eat for every meal because it's so good, and some you will eat whether you like it or not.
And there's some that are awful that you may never want to eat that you see at the table, which is cauliflower.
This reminds me of our story today in the Kings.
Like some of our favorite foods that taste so good, we saw one good king who loved God. He gets a big thumbs up for following God and influencing the people around him to do the same.
And like some of these foods that are just okay, but we still eat them. Just like one of the kings from our story, he was just okay, and his influence was the same, just okay.
And some of these foods on the table, you don't even like them. They're not good like the king who didn't follow God. His influence was not good on the people around him.
By the way, so you know, there's no like goat club, like animal goat club. Goat stands for something. It stands for the greatest of all time. Stories from the Bible. So today, kids, think about the importance of following the Bible, like King Josiah, and how that led him to teach his people to do the same. When we follow God, that will help us do good to the people around us. And as we follow him, we leave a positive influence on the world around us. Well, guys, I mean, that's all for today. So for all of us here at the studio, have a perfect day.
Words to treasure. And this week's verse is coming to us from Ruth 1:16. All right, I'm going to go through it one time really slow, and then I'll go through it a little bit faster, all right? Where you go, I'll go. Where you stay, I'll stay. Your people will be my people. Your God will be my God. Ruth 1:16. All right, now a little bit quicker. Where you'll go, I'll go. Where you'll stay, I'll stay. Your people will be my people. Your God will be my God. Ruth 1:16. Have a great week.
Hi, welcome to Enlightened Time with Miss Shelley. This week in your parents' email, you're going to receive a simple crown we'd like for you to color. And also, to further your experience with it, we would like for you to do more than that. We would like for you to go along with the story today and put an I statement. I will do something that affects the people around me. It could be as simple as talk to the new neighbor that you haven't talked to, or I will help with the dishes for my mom tonight, or I will make a new friend. It could be all kinds of I will statements, but we just want you to dig in and do something new and enjoy, because we know that when we have God in our hearts and we love Him so much, we're going to influence the world in amazing, amazing ways. Have a great week.
As we follow God, we leave a positive influence on the world around us. What a valuable lesson. We can't just forget or not think about that. The way we treat others, it matters. And we influence. If we're in a bad mood, they're going to be in a bad mood. If we're in a great mood, they'll be in a great mood. Remember, have a positive influence on others. They'll see the Lord in us, and it will be an amazing difference. Have a great week. Thanks for joining us.